Hey there, Wondering Watchers. Welcome to this pick a card reading that reveals what you absolutely need to hear right now. Perhaps you're weighing your options to make some decision, or you're curious to know if you're wasting your time on something or someone, or perhaps just browsing through YouTube tarot videos and wanted to see what this one was about. Whether divine forces led you to this video, serendipity, synchronicity, or a slippery mouse button, you are meant to be exactly where you are to receive important messages from your higher power. Whether it's spirit guides, the universe, source, whatever divine entity or energy that you connect with. Keep in mind that the cards provide perspective, and it's your choices and actions that lead to your ultimate truth. You have agency over your life, and you get to decide how to live it. So if you're new to pick a card tarot readings, I'll go through the process. For those of you just raring to go, the link to each reading is in the description box below. So feel free to jump ahead to the reading of your choice. I have in front of me 4 piles of cards. Pile number 1, the Muse Tarot. It contains bright, eclectic images and all female characters. In pile number 2, we have Deviant Moon Tarot. So it's darker. It's got surreal, abstract, moonlit images, and the creator took like photographs of cemeteries and tombstones and altered the images to kind of be part of the card. So it'll be like clothing or something in the background of, these humanoid figures here. Pile number 3, we have Kawaii Tarot, Understanding Tarot with the Kawaii Universe. This is filled with cute, cuddly creatures like llamas, unicorns, and sloths. And then pile number 4, we have the 100% plastic Rider Tarot deck. And this contains the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith images. So you should pick the pile of cards that you feel most drawn to. You can base your decision on how you felt when I went through the deck descriptions and choices, or some other pull from your intuition. Any which way you want to pick a pile is fine. You can also pick more than one pile, since each pile of cards can contain messages meant for you. If you find that during the reading you aren't given a specific message that you were hoping to hear, then it may not be for your best and highest good to hear that message at this time. So, if you need to, feel free to pause the video. You can meditate on the cards, or you can text a friend to ask them to give you a random number between 1 and 4. But once you've made your choice, go to the description box and click on the link for the corresponding pile. Side note, if you're interested in seeing unboxing or flip through videos of the decks that are going to be used in this video, they can be found further below down in that description box. So now it's time to tap into the cards, choose your tarot adventure, and let's make magic happen. Welcome back. This is the reading for group number 1, those who picked the Muse Tarot. So let's get into messages you need to hear right now. You have 2 of inspiration, 3 of emotion, and the moon. So group number 1, what you need to hear is that you might be going through a period where you're a bit confused. You're trying to get feedback from maybe your friends, on, really the direction you should be going in life. Your friends seem to be a huge part of who you are, and to some degree, you might not want to move away from your friend group, but there is a sense that you kind of need to discover more about your own strengths. You are someone who really is meant to be the core of what holds everything together. You're someone who is resourceful, someone who is nurturing, comforting, someone who actually keeps track of what needs to take place. If someone's like hungry, if something needs to be attended to, you do that well for yourself and those that you care about. So to some degree, there is the potential that you give a lot of yourself, and you definitely need time to pamper yourself. So to some degree, the people around you, they may require you to kind of help them, know what's not for their best and highest good, but that's really not your job. Definitely you can be supportive, you can be nurturing, but you also need to know when you should, walk away from a lose-lose situation. So to some degree, there are things that are hidden from you, perhaps unintentionally, perhaps intentionally, but for you, just make sure that you are not compromising your own beliefs, and that you are, taking care of yourself, making sure that you're protected, that you're grounded, that you are looking out for your best and highest good, and not feel that there's any type of disloyalty if you choose to walk away from someone who isn't in a good place. You seem very, very supportive, and maybe you want to kind of, be their rock, but people need to figure out how to be their own rock. So this sun here, this is seven of voices, is kind of like the seven of swords, liar, stealer, cheater. But you have this sun here, and this is a sense of, you have a lot of good things going for you. You have a lot of positivity, and, kind of make sure that don't necessarily be greedy with your positivity, your joy, your happiness, but recognize who is in your environment that may be kind of draining that from you. And there's no need to change who you are, but possibly change the environment around you to fit the goals that you have in life. You have by the book. So to some degree, there are people who rely on you, and what you need to know, group number one, is that if you allow them to keep relying on you, they won't be able to rely on themselves. You have happy. You can be in that place of happiness. Like I said, you have that joy, and doing things in a certain way, certain routine is kind of like what you need to some degree. So your environment, your friend group, your colleagues, you like the routine of that, but to some degree, you're going to need to be aware when that environment needs to change. You have deep knowing. So definitely you are kind of trusting your intuition more to tell you what you might not have support for in, objective facts. You have TikTok. So in terms of when you do things, how you do things, you know, too late, not enough time, not enough assessments type of thing, that's not something that you need to worry about. If you feel something and you instantly need to act on it, then that's fine. If it takes you, months to figure out how you feel, that's fine too. Time is a man-made construction, so don't feel that you are needing to measure up to anyone else's expectations, or that you need to rush your own journey or your own experiences. So group number 1, what you need to hear. You have this card of communication. Is that you may communicate with people in a way that you think they kind of get you. You take care of them, or you want to make sure that they're comforted. You want to kind of help them get things in order. But depending on other people's communication styles, they might not necessarily get that, intention. You have freedom here. So to some degree, what you need to know is that your environment, there is, no matter how free you think you are, how happy you think you are, there is something even more, expansive out there for you to explore. And even though you're doing, wonderfully right now, there's still a lot of your journey left. You have this card of friendship. So again, friendship, who you can trust, your tribe, that is something that is really important to you. And it's not that it shouldn't be important to you. It's kind of recognizing that things are neither black or white, right or wrong. There's different aspects. There's nuances, there's a lot of ambiguities, there's a lot of unknowns. And so ultimately, at the end of the day, you need to make sure that you are in a good place for yourself. You have this card of memories. So you're constantly creating memories with the people that you're around, or even when you're alone. And the way that you reflect on those memories, you can kind of change how you see things. You can kind of, depending on how you feel, the time of day, how someone kind of brings up the past, the way that you can look back on an event, conversation, changes a little bit. So, like I said, you can't really control a lot of things. You can't control how other people think about things, or how they tell others about what they experienced with you. So in terms of, what it is that is kind of communicated amongst your friends or your colleagues, just just know what is worth holding on to and what's, worth letting go of. So let's see what else you need to hear. Group number 1, you have hunger and creativity. So to some degree, you know what you need, you know what fills you up, and what you need to hear is that each moment you are saying something, doing something, being, putting on your clothes, listening to music, there is an aspect of your individuality, your creativity, your intuition about how you want to be portrayed, be seen in your environment, that's constantly happening for you. And that's something that you're becoming more aware of. And the way that you kind of want to leave people with, or kind of portray the essence of your being that you want to leave behind, is this sweetness, this concept of caring, concept of coming from a place of love, being compassionate, but also not knowing what fills you up and not being fake. You have this card of strength. So you'll come across challenges in your life when it comes to, friend groups, relationships, things that you might want to change, but you can't really change the past. You can only really take the opportunity to reflect on how you want to improve, how you want to, be a better person, love more, love yourself more, pamper yourself more, pursue the things that fill you up more, like figuring out what makes you a stronger person. So group number 1, what you need to hear, you have star ancestor, follow the voice of your soul. So you have this ability to kind of tap into your deep knowing, into your intuition. And it might be something that you are like working on right now. But as I said, however free, however in touch with yourself that you are right now, there's even more for you to explore. You have shapeshifter, transform, and unveil your gifts. So you have, like I said, you're doing wonderfully now. You can grow even to something, more fantastic. Whatever that is for you, whatever that hunger it is that you want to fill, you will even be more confident, more self-esteem. You have high priestess, harness mystic power. So, your ability to, tap into your intuition, your creativity, your senses, and have an awareness about your environment, that's something that you can keep working on. And it's almost as if you can transform that into, not transform it, but it's part of your life purpose in a way. If you are someone that is wants to help people be healthier. Maybe you want to help, be a nutritionist. Maybe you want to, help people in a way like be a physical therapist, where you are, it's kind of like, a healer to some degree. So you also need to hear this broken arrow, embrace the energy of peace. So with that concept of, some conflict coming up, and not really abiding to someone else's journey or expectations of you for your journey, kind of recognize that some things can't be fixed, and just to be in a place where if you have acted from a place of love for your best and highest good, haven't compromised your beliefs, and kind of like accepting what you know to be true, even if you don't have the facts, because some things are outside of your view of knowing, then that kind of acceptance is going to allow you to find, peace within yourself and even help others, because you are someone who really cares about others. So even to help them in their, on their journey even. So you have this card of compassion. So again, you are very compassionate, and this is just a reminder to show compassion to yourself as well. You have adventure. So it says, dare to do things differently, manifest your travel dreams. So again, that concept of you can expand even, further than you've already come. And in that process, really, step into your truest power and your best and highest good. You have this card of imagination. So really, you can pretty much do whatever you want to do. You can be whoever you want to be, and any type of should haves, expectations, to some degree, having like finite goals is a limitation. So this is you need to hear that you have unlimited potential, and that it really does start with recognizing when to walk away from something that's not serving your best and highest good. And you have this card of awareness. So being aware of what's going on in your environment, knowing how you feel, tapping into, what you pick up on in your environment. Trust that, and trust that it will kind of take you to the directions you need to go in. It'll have you focus your attention in the direction that you need to go. So group number 1, I'm hoping that this provides a helpful perspective of, what you need to hear right now, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Welcome back. This is the reading for group number 2, those that pick Deviant Moon Tarot. So we're going to shuffle the cards and find out What messages group number 2 needs to hear? You have the moon. So if it wasn't obvious in picking Deviant Moon Tarot in of itself, what you need to hear, group number 2, is that there is a sense of emotions that are really kind of overwhelming you. And in terms of which emotion precisely, it's kind of all of them, every emotion. And you may be kind of overwhelmed, but you need to hear that you can tap into your intuition and let those emotions guide you. You have the 4 of Swords. So you may be kind of withdrawing from people right now. But this is a time for you, regardless of the situation, how it came about, this is a time for you to really clear the the intellectual aspect, the thinking aspect, and really tap into more of your intuition during this time and allow yourself to recharge. It's not that you never want to use the intellectual mind, you never want to look at facts and reasons analysis, but right now it's key for you to really tap into the emotional aspects. And you have Page of Wands. So you're going to be able to, from this experience, learn to be even more creative. If you consider yourself someone that's creative already, be even more creative, take things to a new level, express yourself in new ways, explore your imagination and your sense of wonder and passion even further. So here you have the 2 of Pentacles. It's as if you are learning to manipulate, not in a bad way, learning to adjust, to use your intuition, your connection with your environment. And it's almost like you have this ability, this magic to make things happen. But right now you're kind of going through that transition and learning that flow and learning your connection, the best way that you are connected to your environment, whether it's a certain emotion, whether it's a certain intention. That's the kind of things that you are, playing with right now, figuring out. So you have the Knight of Swords. It may be that, you have people who are really driving you to be more, take more action, be more analytical, really kind of, maybe they want more from you. Maybe they, more in the sense of like, because they are coming from that more logical viewpoint, and need information, communication, they are maybe expecting you to communicate and convey your intentions in that similar way, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's something you have to do. You have the King of Wands. So there is the potential for you to really kind of again, expand your creativity, expand your passion further than you have previously, thought you could. Again, that concept of thinking, being in that area of recognizing your passions, your desires, and kind of really being curious about what is drawing your emotional attention, your desires, your like a sense of hunger. And you have the 10 of Swords here. So group number 2, what you need to hear is that during this transition, during this process of processing, like I said, others may expect you to communicate within the way that they're used to. And it may be that, things from your past or even your present, it might be that you, find out the people that you can't trust. You trip over things that you said you would do or beliefs that you had. But really, this is part of that process where you are kind of going to be kind of clearing the thought patterns that you've had and really tapping into the more emotional aspects, and the being more driven by desires as opposed to words. You have no place like home. In a sense, you are trying to figure out, or not necessarily even figure out, feel, sense what gives you comfort, what gives you a sense of security, what gives you a sense of being in tune with yourself and your environment. You have flexibility. So you, in this process, what you need to hear, group number 2, you do need to be flexible, and it's a sense of kind of almost breaking down old beliefs that were more rigid, more restrictive, more confining. And this process, it's not going to be comfortable, but what is going to occur is you are going to become more comfortable in expanding your limitations as you go. You have message in a bottle. So group number 2, what you need to hear is not only going to be in this video, there are going to be kind of messages out in the world for you to kind of pick up on. A certain song that you hear on the radio, certain phrasing, even from a book or from a movie or from a song that really will resonate with you in a way that maybe you've heard it, 10 times before, 5 times before, but something about who says it, when it's said, how it comes across is going to resonate with you in a way that it hasn't before. And things like that, coincidences, synchronicities, things like that are going to start popping up. So being more aware of your environment, even if you can't see things clearly or have certain expectations, that's probably the best thing, is not seeing clearly, not having those expectations, but really relying on your feelings, your passions, your senses. You have this by the book card that is about kind of like social norms. social customs. And it may be that you find in this process, you are not really kind of comfortable with those expectations of you. And that's, good information to know. And that kind of adds to this flexibility, this discomfort in the process. But, you are kind of trying to find your footing. You're trying to get a sense of what is solid foundation for you, and what is something that you can, you're not going to rely on. So let's see, group number 2, you have this patience card and you have this flirt card. So this process is going to take some time. It's going to take effort, and in the process, have fun to the extent that you can. If you feel like you want to kind of express yourself in a new way, go ahead and do that. If you get the feeling that you're not quite ready to step out, but you have, or like step out and engage with other people, like intellectually you don't think you're ready, but you have a strong desire to do something, then follow your desire. This is a chance for you to really tap into your feelings and explore, fears, limitations that you've had, and really start to confront them. You have this card of hope. And, maybe in the past you haven't really wanted to hope. You haven't really wanted to kind of step outside of an environment that wasn't based on fact, reason, clear, obvious, rules and boundaries. But there's a sense of kind of wonder and excitement that you really have inside of you. And in this process that you're going through, you're going to be able to tap into that more. And what might be at the basis of, this transition, why there's discomfort in trying to gain flexibility, why things used to be so rigid, may be related to some kind of heartbreak. Maybe there was something in your past where you had hope, and for some reason, things didn't work out the way you wanted. This is going to allow you, this process is going to allow you, group number 2, to heal those. You might actually go through the process of feeling those things again, but embrace those feelings. You are strong enough to embrace those feelings that you may not have wanted to embrace before. So you have this flow card. Again, this concept of flexibility, being in the flow. What you need to hear is that it's okay to do the unexpected. Releasing expectations of yourself. I know that this is about you, but it reminds me of learning about social norms, and how when you walk into the elevator, people always tend to stand facing the elevator doors. And I decided I'm going to stand I'm just going to walk in and stand facing the back. And people didn't expect that. And it was interesting to kind of feel the discomfort of looking at the back of the elevator and having people facing me. But it was also interesting in, feeling my own discomfort, feeling their discomfort, and recognizing it didn't matter. It's an elevator ride, you know? So that's kind of like this concept of flow and flexibility and finding out how you flow through your environment. It's not always going to be comfortable, but in the discomfort, there is going to be something that you recognize, something that you process, and will have you even more in tune with your environment. So here you have this card of possibility. Again, you have unlimited potential. Any type of limitations, expectations, that is something that you are kind of, you're challenging right now. You have this card of delight. So group number 2, there are things, this process, it is going to be a challenge and you are up for it, but there are things that you have in your environment right now that are giving you joy, that they might be small, they might be simple, it might just be, a certain flower that you like is blooming, a certain flavor of ice cream at the local shop is kind of like a limited time flavor is out there. Something in your environment, and lots of things in your environment, you can take pleasure in right now. So if you feel like things are heavy, and again, you get that urge to do something silly and unexpected, like go out and get a scoop of ice cream, bubblegum ice cream, then definitely go for it, because that's you kind of, again, going with how you feel as opposed to just thinking of what is expected or what is typical or normal. You have this card of discernment. This is so the message that you need to hear right now, group number 2, is that yes, there are things outside your control. There are things that are hidden from you. There's things that factually you won't know. And as much as you tap into your intuition and you challenge yourself and you get into the flow of things, there are things that other people aren't ready to hear or know. So if you're kind of talking to someone and, you tell them, oh, I'm trying not to use my intellect and fact and reason, and I'm just trying to, go off of intuition and passion. Some people might just be not ready to hear it and just want to rain on your parade. Don't let that happen. There's certain things that you can keep to yourself. There's certain things that, it's interesting, the little things that can throw you off balance as you're trying to gain balance and flexibility as well. So there's certain things where, don't compromise your own beliefs, stay true to yourself, but you don't need to explain to everybody what you're doing, why, what you hope for. You don't have to prove anything to anyone else. Okay, so group number 2, you have this consciousness card. Again, tapping into your environment, getting a sense of being in the flow, but also having a sense of like calm and knowing, something other than based on information, what you're told. You have strength. So this process is really going to help you recognize what needs to be healed, what perhaps areas that made you feel uncomfortable, and as you heal those, you will kind of grow stronger in certain areas. And what you need to hear is that will be the case for you, but you do have to face some uncomfortable situations as well. You have ideation. So what you need to hear, group number 2, is that in this process as well, as you are kind of withdrawing from talking heads, just opinions of other people, it will allow you to create space for you to not only find your flow in your environment, but give you something that you actually grasp onto, that you want to kind of develop and explore. This can be anything from, designing jewelry to, new pairs of shoes, some type of costume design, being a character in a book or a play, something along those lines. You have this energy card here. So what you need to hear is that you may be in the past, you may have felt that you needed more structure in order to understand what was expected of you, to color within the lines so that you could prepare and be ready and do what you need to do. What was happening in that process is that you kind of had this finite amount of energy, amount of attention span, and it's like you had to gear up and do a certain task. Like this, I'm doing this kind of block with my hands because that's kind of the sense I'm getting. But from this process, you are going to be able to understand what actions, what environments really charge up your energy, so that you don't really need those same types of limitations that you had before, that you may not have known were limitations and were just ways to prepare your day, so that you could check off things on your list and know that you were done and feel accomplished. You're still going to be able to feel accomplishment, but you're also going to be able to sense what fires you up, what gives you that desire, that passion, that strength, that energy, that focus, not only from your environment, but things you eat, the things that you read, things you listen to, things you watch. You have shapeshifter, transform, and unveil your gifts. So this is a transformation, perhaps, that that you've been going under. This discomfort that you may have had, it's something that you may have just gotten used to. This is discomfort in a sense of a transformation, and it's not something for you to just live in for the rest of your days. It's like working out at a gym, breaking in a new pair of shoes. There's discomfort, but then there is a sense of, then there is that sense of comfort. You have Earth Guardian, stay rooted and grounded. So here, what you need to hear, group number 2, is that your senses, your ability to tap into your sense of touch, sound, taste, what are the other senses? Oh my gosh. Your sense of like, did I say sight? Like being in touch with your body, feeling like the tactile sensations, that is something that's going to be a key aspect here. So being like recognizing what food energizes you, what foods kind of drain your energy, or make you break out, or leave a bad taste in your mouth. That's something that you may be going through as well, but it will help you to kind of sense your environment more, and know where to find your footing, where you have that solid foundation, and your body, the alignment with your body, your heart, your mind, your spirit, like the foundation for that is something that is key for this process. You have Magic Guardian, unlock the magic within. Again, this is really going to allow you to expand your imagination, your creativity, and however you use that is the magic that you have. You have Warrior, be fearless and stand strong. So again, you don't have to explain this process to others. You don't need to justify it to others. You just need to recognize that what you're doing, if you are doing that for your best and highest good, not compromising your own beliefs, and coming from a place of love, passion, creativity, that's going to help you stand strong and explore your ability to, expand your horizons and flex your creativity and passion muscles. So, group number 2, I'm hoping that this reading provides helpful perspective of what you need to hear right now. So, we'll see you next time. Take care. Welcome back. This reading is for group number 3, those who picked Kawaii Tarot, Understanding Tarot with the Kawaii Universe. So, group number 3, we're going to shuffle some cards and get messages you need to hear right now. You have 9 of Wands, 5 of Wands, the Hangman. So, group number 3, what you need to hear is that you may be feeling worn out. You may be feeling drained, and that you need to kind of go above and beyond just to, hit a place of, normal or stable. And that has to do with just growing pains, just figuring out your own priorities, how to kind of use your life circumstances to learn and grow and figure out what to prioritize in your life, as opposed to taking situations to kind of compare and contrast your life against someone else's life. It's as if there is a focus that you have or have had on instability, um, kind of conflict, competition. It's something where it's almost you're reluctant to engage in things that are designed to kind of test your abilities in a sense of like just assessing it, not kind of to prove a point or anything. But it's as if there is a lack of desire to have desires because of because you would rather just go along with a group type of thing. So it may be that you are coming up upon a situation where you are going to have some time alone. It's not going to be so chaotic, but it's a choice that you have to make. There's something that you need to kind of give up or surrender, and it's going to be uncomfortable at first, but you are going to be able to learn from this experience. You have the Four of Wands. So it may be the case that right now you're not really feeling competition, chaos, and that you are in a place where you are feeling stable, and that's great. But this is something for your long term, something for your best and highest good, that is something that you're going to be exploring. You have the Queen of Swords. So group number 3, what you need to hear is that, sometimes there are influences in our lives that kind of, they operate in a way that's comfortable for them. They set rules for themselves. They kind of interact with people and possibly even set rules for them. And you might not really do well operating in their world and start kind of thinking that there is, it may cause you confusion, it may make you feel drained. And so this kind of, time away from whoever it is that you feel like you need to kind of, that whenever, it's almost like whenever you kind of engage with this person or, consider a situation from that person's perspective, it's as if you almost don't know how to act anymore. But when you get that sense, it's okay to kind of not feel like you need to have all of the right answers or not know how to abide by their rules or play their game. That's not something that you need to do. You may feel like you want to do to kind of keep the peace, but that's something that you don't need to do. You have a King of Wands. So there is a desire for you to really experience a sense of victory, to kind of step out and be admired, to really have the kind of the power that you think other people kind of have over you. And what you need to hear is that that's something that you can achieve, but you need to kind of start with yourself and recognizing what gives you a sense of accomplishment. What accomplishments do you have that you kind of toss aside because you think they don't measure up to what other people would consider accomplishments? There needs to be more self-acceptance and self-love going on in your life. You have the Page of Wands here. So also what you need to hear, group number 3, is that sense of curiosity, that pushing the boundaries, that playfulness, expressing yourself in a way that feels comfortable to you is also part of the process, the road to being that type of person that others look up to, being that type of person that others want to support and are inspired by. So let's see, group number 3. You have To the Sea. So group number 3, this is an important message for you. There are things that you need to allow just to let go of. They can be old beliefs. They could be other people's expectations of you. They can be, baggage that you hold on to. Could even be like clutter in your room, under your bed, whatever. There are things that you need to kind of let go of. And if you're trying to hold on to something so tightly that you are afraid to let go of it, that's probably one of the first things you need to, take a moment and pause and consider how it fits in with what you want, how it fits in with what you need, and what kind of is, still around due to ego, due to other people's, like you trying to people please, these types of things. You have Yin. So group number 3, you're allowing yourself to receive, allowing yourself to feel love. That's something that you should embrace. You deserve to embrace. You don't have to figure out how you can measure up to other people's expectations. Just be yourself. Recognize that you deserve love. Give yourself love. Everything else will fall into place. You have this Imagine card. And really being in this place of receiving, allowing yourself to accept who you are, to love who you are, be in this place of just feeling, allowing yourself to feel whatever feelings those are going to spill over into other areas like creativity, imagination, and will really allow you to kind of explore who you are, where you want to go in life, and be who you want to be. You have this card of regeneration. So in a sense, what you are kind of going through, maybe discomfort, may feel like unstable, but allowing for some downtime, some like assessment of your life, what's for your best and highest good, recognizing what kind of are kind of old, stagnant beliefs, limiting beliefs, expectations that you need to let go of. It's going to allow you to kind of let those things go. So right now it's as if you are feeling the discomfort and kind of making assessments, but eventually there is going to be a time where you accept what needs to kind of be let go of because they don't serve your best and highest good. You have hunger. And group number 3, it may be that you've had hunger in the past, or you're afraid of, and this isn't like fill your stomach. This is a hunger of knowing what fills you up, what drives you, what makes you yearn for that recognition, accomplishment, love in your life, all those things. It may be that you have kind of downplayed it or just convinced yourself that you didn't have that. And it's probably been, feeling like you're constantly experiencing growing pains. You're constantly assessing your progress. But in order to really grow, expand, accomplish your, what's for your best and highest good, it does require pruning, getting rid of the stuff that isn't for your best and highest good, getting rid of the decayed, the dying, so that new ideas, new experiences, new drives can kind of come into play. You have isolation. So group number 3, for you, you need to hear that being alone at times can be lonely, but it also allows you a sense of calm. It allows you a sense of being in touch with your inner voice, and just being in the present, just understanding not how to be, who to be, but just being, and kind of getting a sense of what your feelings are, how your body feels, how your vision is, how your sense of sound is, getting a sense of self and your baseline. You have flow. So this process here, this discomfort, the assessments, the pruning away, letting go of things that aren't serving you, this recognition of who you are, that is going to take some time. But once you accomplish those things, you will start feeling that things are kind of pulling you in the direction of, imagination, love, things that are new, things that are exciting, things that you want to explore in your life. You have abundance. So this process is going to, before you know it, get you in a mindset of more abundant thinking, understanding that there's so much more out there for you, and that certain expectations or certain limiting beliefs, those don't really help you. They don't get you where you want to go. You have anger. And what you need to hear, group number 3, is that anger is not a bad emotion. It's something that we all experience from time to time, and knowing the cause of it, knowing how to express it in a way that, isn't harmful to yourself or others, that's all part of, the process of understanding ourselves, understanding others, and it's a way to kind of sense when things aren't working for you, when things are kind of going against your truth, when things are going against your best and highest good. So it's something to utilize. You have this card of celebration. So definitely celebrate your accomplishments. Celebrate every small or big or medium-sized achievement that you have, and recognize, again, you deserve it. You deserve to receive happiness and, praise. Pat yourself on the back, from time to time. And you have expansion. So what you need to hear, group number 3, is that the world that you have in the past kind of created for yourself and how you operate in that is going to this process going to help you understand that there is so much more for you to explore, to experience, to be driven by, to embrace, and that there's probably something in this process that you can eventually share with others to help them accomplish whatever it is that they might want in life as well. You have this card of control. To some degree, it may be others around you have kind of given you this idea that control is something to not celebrate. What's the word I'm thinking? Control is something to strive for, that you win when you're in control. But the truth of the matter is that, like, there's a lot of things that are outside of our control. And it may be that you've tried to operate within those boundaries before. And this process will allow you to understand there's a lot that you can't control, and just go with the flow and not to be so rigid and tight to certain ideas. So here you have this card of friendship. To some degree, group number 3, what you need to hear is that some friendships, those might be part of the things you need to let go of. Those are, maybe part of what causes you to feel like you need to have control. It might spark anger. Not to say that every time you feel angry when it comes to people around you that you need to stop being friends with them, but in kind of figuring out the source, what underlines everything, it may be that there's certain friendships that you have to not place as a priority, and start thinking of yourself as that priority. You have this soul connection card. So the people that support you, that love you for you, that have no expectation of you other than to be true to yourself and who you are, those people, you'll know to keep them around. And if you don't have those people in your life, then you will find those people in this process, part of this process. Well, either way, whether they're in your life now or not, this process is going to draw in those people that love you for who you are, allow you to receive, support you in you just being who you are. You have this guarded card. So group number 3, to some degree, this sense of, limiting your movements, how you operate, kind of trying to live up to certain expectations, were learned. through some type of, prior sadness, upset, disappointment, someone who maybe tried to control you, someone who told you, no, you're not acting the way that you need to act. And this process is going to help you kind of figure out where that came in and allow you to kind of to heal that, to prune any type of false beliefs, limiting beliefs in that situation, heal that old wound. You have see beyond the current situation. So whatever you're going through right now, it may be that, being in present time, that is very important. Living in the now is very important. Learning from the now is very important, but also having the ability to kind of look at the close up here and now, and then like a larger view of things, an overarching view of things, and then shifting back into the more, things right in our focus right now. That ability is really key to helping you to kind of grow into the person that you want to be, in the sense of recognizing what's for your best and highest good, making decisions that are for your long-term benefit, and seeing that whatever's uncomfortable right now, that's just right now. And you have the ability to change those things. You have Magic Guardian, unlock the magic within. So there is a lot of the true you that once you kind of go through this process, or even during this process, the true you, the part of you that wants to, that yearns for something greater, it's going to start seeping out. And you're going to kind of, once that happens, you're really going to want to embrace that. You have Earth Guardian, stay rooted and grounded. So in this process, make sure that you are, that you recognize how you are connecting to your environment, your senses, are you sleeping well? Are you getting the right foods to eat? Are you staying hydrated? The things that at the core is your, your physical body, making sure that's, in optimal health, making sure that you have alignment in your body, mind, heart, and spirit, and, staying true to who you are. Then you have Water Guardian, connect with your emotions. So it may be something that is uncomfortable. It may be something that, let me put this here. It may be something that is overwhelming at times, but connecting to your emotions, recognizing what it is that, stirs your feelings, any which way, good, bad, angry, happy, that is kind of key to you recognizing what you need to let go of, what is kind of draining you of energy as opposed to energizing you, and being able to start expressing the true you that you are. So group number 3, this is the messages that I have for you. I'm hoping it provides you a helpful perspective, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Welcome back. This reading is for group number 4, those who picked the 100% Plastic Writer Tarot deck. So let's go ahead and shuffle and pull cards for the messages that group number 4 He's here right now. You have the Empress, King of Pentacles, King of Wands. Okay, so group number 4, what you need to hear is that you are hot, on fire, you are all that. You are really attractive to people right now. You are oozing like sensuality, sexuality. You are flowing with creativity. It's like everything that you are wearing, everything that, even how your body moves, the music that you listen to, and if your head nods along with the music, it is drawing in attention to you. So it may be that there is attention you're getting from different people right now, and you know, they both seem to be, it looks like, you know, the King of Pentacles, King of Wands, it's as if they both want your attention. And right now, you don't really have to do anything except be in a place of just awesomeness. So here, oh, well, maybe you do have to do something. Maybe you're going to have to make a decision on, you know, which direction you're going to go, whose world you're going to light up. You have the Knight of Pentacles. So it seems like, you know, if you are not sure about suitor A or suitor B, don't worry, because there's probably a suitor C out there as well. It really does seem that you have a lot of opportunities, a lot of people wanting to help you, wanting to be around you, wanting to get your inputs. And you have the Magician. You are really poised to kind of manifest whatever it is that you want right now. And you've got confidence. You are pretty much like making magic happen every day just by existing, just by being. So that's fantastic. And you have a Page of Pentacles. Wow, all these pentacles. So it does seem like what you need to hear right now, group number 4, is just enjoy it. Just cherish these moments. No need to stress, no need to rush, take your time. Things will happen the way they need to happen for you, when they need to happen for you. Other people might want you to make a choice, and, you know, if that's the case, then you can give them what they're asking for. If you don't want to put a time limit on that, then let them know that. Then they can let you know if there's a time limit for, you know, what it is that they want to know from you and when they're asking for it. But for now, just be your awesome self. Just go and, you know, enjoy the flowers. Enjoy each breath in, breath out. Enjoy the flavors you're tasting, and enjoy the sights that you're seeing, and enjoy your life right now. It's awesome. You have flexible. So group number 4, what you need to hear is that there might, in all your awesomeness, be some moments of discomfort, but that's okay, because it is just going to be an opportunity for you to kind of expand your experiences, your learning, and really make you even more capable. You have the fates here. So there may be a situation where, you know, things aren't going to ultimately work out for everybody. There's someone that's going to be disappointed. It may be, someone who's looking to work with you, someone who's looking to be in a friendship with you, someone who wants to be more than friends. It could be you at times, but there is amazing things in your future, and you should still take every experience, learn, grow from it, and see the silver lining. You have this chop wood card. So there might be individuals that are around you that you kind of see as not really exciting, not really having that charisma, that sex appeal, that are kind of, they check all the boxes type of things. They look good on paper, but they aren't really, catching that your attention in a certain way. I would say what you need to hear is don't rule them out, because each of us has to go through our own journeys, and at the end of the day, who we truly are, it shows up in the routine things that we do, how we order food at restaurants, how we deal with entering a parking lot when you're competing for a parking spot. Just mundane things really kind of show who we are, and it might be that the people that seem to kind of not be really exciting, who they are in the ordinary mundane tasks, like reveals something about them that you wouldn't have noticed if you just made assumptions based on, certain aspects. And it could be that the people who really do catch your attention, who are really, really charismatic and charming, and the cat's meow. I know that's probably an old school term. You might see that how they interact with people on a very everyday level puts you off. So that's something that you need to hear. And you have this breathe card. So group number 4, don't forget, as you're enjoying and cherishing what's going on around you, to take things very slowly, to breathe in, breathe out, to possibly even like meditate, and find a sense of like being in the present. As it's not to say that you are someone who tends to rush. You might have those kind of, from time to time, but it's very clear that like what you need to hear right now, group number 4, is that you have a lot of power, you have a lot of ability, you have a lot that you can accomplish in life, and the slow, steady, just being in the present, that you might feel like you won't accomplish everything you want to accomplish, but it will allow you to kind of focus in on the things that you do want to accomplish, the things that, it's more like the work smarter, not harder type of approach to things. All right, we're going to get more messages for group number 4 here. You have this card of passion. So this kind of, whoever you make a decision for, with, you are going to have passion. If they seem on the exterior someone who's a little humdrum, a little boring, if you ultimately choose to be with that person, it doesn't matter what they seem like on the surface. There is going to be passion there. You have self-love. So group number 4, what you need to hear is that your sense of beauty is not just exterior, it's on the inside. And the passion that you have with others really does stem from your ability to recognize when you need pampering, when you need to focus on you, when you need to meditate and breathe, when you need to be, going slowly, when you need to do yoga, whatever the situation is. Following that tendency to take time for yourself is really not only helping you, but it helps your connections with other people. You have this card of differences. So it not only makes your self-love, doesn't only make passions greater, it makes disagreements even easier to kind of go through. When you are in a good place with yourself, there's a less tendency to kind of take out frustrations on other people or use minor disagreements as a reason or excuse to kind of have a full-blown argument. If things aren't meant to work out, then that's something that you would tend to recognize sooner than later, because you're not internally fighting with yourself, and then you can actually do something about it. You have this trust card. So this self-love kind of like supports, or what's the word I'm thinking? I'm kind of like going back and forth, like playing pinball or like thinking of pancakes or something. It kind of, the self-love kind of like plays off of or triggers this concept of you being able to trust not only yourself, but other people. So this is, honestly, this is huge. Group number 4, just know that learning to have love for yourself, trusting yourself, some people, like, that's their entire journey in life. So kudos to you for being able to do that. You have caution. So here, this ability for you to kind of know who you are, it really does allow for you to take things slow and kind of sense your environment, where you can, check out any problems that might come about. Like I said, if there are disagreements with people, if there's, if relationships aren't working out, friendships, jobs, whatever the situation is, you have this ability to kind of sense those things and move at those. It's like you're curious. You're constantly curious about your environment. You're constantly curious about how you are impacting your environment and those around you. So it's as if you have that sense of knowing when something is kind of off. You have rejection. And you know when things need to just aren't working out. You know what's not good for you. You know when things aren't working out. You know when you need to correct course here. You have ghost. So to some degree, you are someone who is, I want to say, what's the word? Like memories held in your body, where you learn through, I mean, everyone learns through their senses, but let's say it's like experience that you have, you remember better when it's related to a smell or a sound or a flavor, or if you injured your foot, it's like your senses, your body remembers certain things. And here, from time to time, there will be past hurts, past experiences that you'll feel in your body. You'll feel in like a shortness of breath or a heart palpitation or doing mundane things. And your body will kind of remind you of someone or something from the past. Just take a moment and see what you can kind of learn from those experiences. And you don't have to be caught up in them, but they trigger you for a reason. And just take some time to definitely slow down extra and be aware of what's going on at those times. You have this card of sadness. So I'm kind of sensing here that what you need to hear, group number 4, is that you have this ability about you where because people are drawn to you, and it's as if you don't want to disappoint other people in their experience with you. So you may have some tend to hide your sadness or put your sadness as less a priority when you're dealing with other people, because you don't want to make them feel bad. You don't want them to experience discomfort. But here again, focus on trusting yourself, and that's the self-love, and knowing what's not for your best and highest good. At some point, your body stored memories, things that pop up, might call for you to kind of look at places that you were growing and trying things, where because of someone else, because of not wanting them to feel bad or feel small, wanting to raise them up, you limited yourself. It may not have been a conscious effort. Doing something for the benefit of someone else, where you kind of had to deal with, the situation. And that's not a great example. So I was watching Ted Lasso the other night, and there was some situation where Nora, the goddaughter, said that she was smoking with her friend in the bathroom at school, and their friend got caught, but she didn't get caught because she was hiding in the bathroom stall, and her friend was getting chewed out, so she went and got in trouble as well, so the friend wouldn't get in trouble alone because it was the right thing to do, but she ended up getting in trouble and she could have gotten away with it. Those types of situations. Anyway, a situation when you are stepping up to help someone out, there's still things that you need to process, and I'm not saying they're equivalent to getting caught smoking when you're in high school or whatever, but I'm just saying it's something where you are wanting to help other people. You want to lift them up. There are still, moments of sadness or moments of disappointment that you have, maybe even in yourself, that you can kind of go back and look at and give yourself some self-love when it comes to those things. Okay, so group number 4, you have beloved here. Again, this concept of self-love, being in a place where love is flowing from you and to you. This message here is just a reminder that things that are meant for you, they are coming into your life. You don't have to have a time limit. Just enjoy every moment that kind of comes to you. Group number 4, you have flow. So flow, flexibility, being able to kind of let things go, being able just to be in the present and not really holding on too tightly or needing to control anything, just being open to new experiences, even if they're uncomfortable for you. That's something that is really going to help you in any part of your journey. Patience. So here, this concept of taking things slow, being patient, really consider your best and highest good before you act. Trust yourself, trust your instincts, and also have fun. Explore that passion that you have. And you have innocence. It says take time to play. So definitely have fun. Go ahead and play. Also, if things from the past kind of pop up, maybe in relationship to, ideas that you had as a child, inner child stuff, you are in a real good place to look at that, to work on those things, to grow from those things. You have wise one. Grow within your current situation. So you're doing great right now, and there is still more room for you to grow. You have shapeshifter. Transform and unveil your gifts. So no matter how much you have grown over time, have really become comfortable in your own skin, you are still shifting and growing and changing. And this concept of being flexible is really key. You have snake, shed old skin. So group number 4, what you need to hear is that in this process of shape-shifting, being flexible, being in the flow, there is going to be moments of discomfort. And when those happen, recognize that the things that no longer serve you, old beliefs, limiting mindsets, those things are dropping off as you you make your way forward in life. Then you have fox, spirit fox. Trust your talents in changing times. So here, you don't need to keep up with other people. You don't need to prove who you are. You don't need to show other people what your end goal is or what your end game is. This is your journey, and you are in a really amazing place. Keep being your beautiful, wonderful, graceful self, and enjoy what's happening. I'm hoping this provides a helpful perspective for you, and we'll see you next time. Take care.